Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming here tonight. It's a pleasure to see all of you here. I always write and then I start speaking different words. Welcome to our first Fail, Fail Again, and Fail Bigger event and Christmas dinner. Since August, when I started Lagos Digital Nomads project, I've been traveling quite a lot. It has been very grateful for me to meet lots of like-minded people like you guys. Thank you. I would like to leave a special thank to 3 people here in this living room. And actually, she's late. Oh my God. Let's see if she comes in the right moment. So, the first person that I want to thank you is Claire. Claire, thank you for being present in this project since our first meetup in August. At that time, I had no idea where I was going, what to expect, or if it was going to work out. Thank you for being present and all your support. Of course, the third person won't be here. Oh my God. Yeah. The second person is Paula. Paula. Thank you for the talks we had that also led to the development of this project. Thank you for the excellent work you did with our brand. And also thank you for all the support and friendship. Okay? The third person is the manager of this amazing place here. She's the manager of Aldeia Azul. I don't know if she's coming or not. I will have the chance to thank her again. She's also the manager of the place where we have our second co-work, Giramar. And she has been supporting me in this project. She is very open to this new market to work in this tourism area, which is very important for us in this crisis right now. Like the digital nomads and remote workers are a huge opportunity for us locals because the winter, normally we don't have any tourism, as you might know. So this is a great opportunity to help the local economy. Thank you, guys. Public speaking, it's not easy. Okay, so we grew up listening our parents saying, you can't fail. And then in adult life, and especially if you are an entrepreneur, you realize that they are wrong. It is more important to prepare ourselves for failure than for success, right? I don't know if you guys agree with this. And for me, actually, failure is a huge, big blessing. I don't know if you guys also agree with this thing, but I feel it's like a blessing. And now, without waiting any longer, let me introduce you to our first speaker tonight. 30 years old, born in Germany, currently working in the Algarve and enjoying his life as a digital nomad, holding a master's degree in business and in administration, and a bachelor's degree in marketing and international management. Open-minded, interested in culture and languages, and good food. Founder of a photography business and interested in nearly all sports. Give a round of applause to Lukas.
So I have to stand here, right? I should not too much. Okay, hi. Nice to meet you all. Hello. So actually, it's my first fuck-up night. Yeah. And I'm here for speaking, so I'm a bit nervous, but let's see. We'll try my best, not fuck up this. Actually, I already fucked up today because I was surfing and I just got the surfboard on my head, but let's see how it works. Yeah, so I would just tell you 3 stories, nothing big, 3 nice stories about failure and learning about it. So the first story is about uncomfortable situations. Because when I graduated, and I did the master's in auditing and accounting, then I started in a big company, in an international company, as real estate fund manager. So, like I was in charge of some hundred of millions of euro, had a team, and it was all about real estate. And I thought, like, real estate, no worries, like, come on, house, apartment, everyone knows real estate, right? So it's gonna be something nice. And then I just found myself in a conference room with other managers standing there like, or sitting there like, you know? You all know those guys. And they were like, so Lukas, do you think you want to invest in this office building, 20 million? And I was like, yes, I don't know. And they were like, yeah, but what about leverage and multiply and yields and interest? And I was like, yeah, all is good. I don't know. To be honest, I felt so uncomfortable in this situation. And what I did, like in the evening, I just looked up in the internet all terms. So that's how it turned out. But what I saw, like, or if I look backwards, it's like those uncomfortable situations were the situations I learned the most. My learning curve was like that. And that's why I thought, like, okay, I can reframe it. And I can, like, nowadays, I try even to force or like to look on uncomfortable situations. Like right now, like, come on, it would be easier for me just to sit there and like watching others, but this is a way like how I can improve in my life. And I think it's a good way. That's my first story. Second story is about timing. It's about timing. So I worked as a real estate fund manager for 3 years. And at the beginning, I had a very strong and learning curve, and I liked it. But after some while, I got a bit bored. And I was like, actually, it's not what I feel inside of me. I feel a bit empty. So I know I had to change something. And there are two things you need to see, like what you will do in the future. And this is probably all of you know this, like we're always trying to amend our tasks for the future. And when. So when I said like timing, I always saw, or a friend talked to me and he said, I want to quit the job, but I don't know when. Maybe next month, maybe in 1 year. A colleague told me like, okay, just stay 10 years in that company and then you feel fine with your pension and you leave. So I thought about two things. And one is what Steve Jobs said. He said, we all have different, he said, dots in our life, right? We go to the university, we learn in different companies, and what we can't do is we can't connect the dots in the future. But looking backwards, we can see how the dots were connected. So somehow we need to trust in our dots and in the future. Call it universe or karma or God or whatever you feel for, but you need to trust somehow. So that's the first thing, it's hope. And the second thing is, I say it like Nike. Because Nike, they searched for a new slogan in the 17th, and they just hired a marketing guy and said, like, we need a new slogan, a good one. And the marketing guy was like, shit, it's a big company, right? How do I find a slogan for such a big company? And so he was an American guy. He was sitting there watching TV, having snacks. And then at that time, there was a murderer on the television, and he was executed, and they just asked him if he has some last words. And he said, just do it. So this guy was like, okay, just do it, and that's my point. I don't think there's, Yeah. That's it, yeah. That's my point. I don't think there's a wrong or a right moment to do something, just do it. That's my second. Yeah. So, and the third one, and the last story, is about being open-minded and about being open for new situations that we don't know yet. Because what I saw, like when I quit my job in this big firm, and I founded my own company, and then I was like, yeah. I mean, everyone knows, like, we are like, no, we have freedom, we are fine, no party goes on, right? We don't have a boss anymore, cool. But after some time, I was like, okay, no shit, I'm also in charge of myself now, and also in charge of taking responsibility, finding new clients. So I was in conferences and firms, whatever. I talked to people. And what I see is like, it's called like we always talk to people who are the same as us. A similar attraction theory, right? If someone looks friendly to us, we talk to him. If someone doesn't look friendly to us, probably we stay a bit abroad. And that's the point, because often I saw that those people I found friendly were not my customers in the future. And those which were a bit critical, which I didn't like to talk to at the beginning, they wanted to work with me, and they are like my new customers now. And that taught me I should be always open-minded. And I don't know if you know David Letterman, and yeah, you know him. It's so cool. Just look at YouTube. He's so good. He finds a treasure in every person. He's an interviewer, and this is what I meant. Like, everyone has a treasure, and you just have to find it and be open-minded, be open for new situations, and that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
No, I don't know if you guys have any questions for Lukas. Does anyone want to ask something to him?
Yeah.
Yes. Peraí.
So what's the one, I don't think, is it working? Yeah. What's the one takeaway for you? Like, what's the one thing now? You live your life by this because you failed so many times. What's the one thing that you would pass on to everyone else here?
I think it's a point from the second story. It's what Steve Jobs talked about. We need to trust in something. If you have a deep, deep trust in yourself, you know which way. And also, you have your values, so you can still, if you know your values, you can still walk on that way, and you need trust and hope that everything's gonna be right and good, because it's getting like that. Yeah.
I love how you said everybody has a treasure. So I would love to know, what is your treasure?
I mean, that's difficult to answer, right? Because maybe other people can tell it better. Maybe, or like, I think I'm a positive person, and I want to inspire other people. And that's what I always try to give the energy to other people, to inspire them. Yeah. Good questions.
Good questions, eh? Thank you, Lukas. Thank you, Lukas, for sharing your stories. And I think I'm going a little bit back from the beginning, because there was someone that just arrived here, and I thanked two other people, yes, and I wanted to thank you, Marilyn, also for believing in this project and for supporting me with all these crazy ideas and organizing these events. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's go to our second speaker. Well, she sent me a really huge bio, so let me try. Well, you know, ladies, we write a lot, we speak a lot, so she's doctorate in Naturopathic medicine. Sorry for my English, some words, okay? Honors in psychology, specialist in communication, and went on to complete her training in subconscious work. She works on a level, mental and emotional, physical and energetic pillars of health. Passionate about entrepreneurship, people, and sales, who take courage to put themselves out there. Currently, she's offering a program envisioning and creating your goals and realigning negative beliefs and creating action steps to truly change your life. Give a round of an applause to Dr. André. You're welcome.
Hey guys, I have to apologize. Usually when I present, I don't hold notes, but she calls me 2 days ago, and I had a busy schedule, so I just wrote, and I'll just try to speak, and then whatever you guys have questions, just let me know. So first, I just want to say thank you for everyone being here. It is so special to be here in Lagos. It's so special to meet you. It's so special for us to be alive in this time. It's really crazy, and somehow we're here, we're still smiling, and we really need to keep doing that for the rest of the world. We have to hold this space, so thank you. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I have a lot to say. I'm Portuguese, so originally born in Portugal, but then they flew me to Canada, so I'm technically Canadian, but you know, I'm still born here. So my intention for today, for me sharing with you, is one, for me to be vulnerable and to share my fears with you and my failures, and then two, to connect with your heart, hopefully, and to connect with emotions so that you feel whatever I was feeling, maybe not as harsh. And then the last thing was to maybe create some introspection and to get you to ask some questions. So if you have your phone, I would actually, in your notes, I'm going to ask some questions throughout my talk. I do this for a living, okay? I love teaching, so don't give me looks. So if any of these questions, whatever I ask, comes up and you want to ask yourself, I would ask you to go home and think about these questions, because they really, they made an impact in my life. All right, so let's get started. So first story. The first story, I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. And you're going to go into your imagination, and you're going to imagine a short little girl. She's about 5 years old. That's me. I have black hair, like bangs, long hair. And my mother tells me, Andrea, you're going to go, and you're going to go take a trip. And I'm all excited. I'm 5 years old. I'm so smiley. I'm excited. We go to the airport, and we get to the airport. And then she's like, this is the air stewardess. And then you can open your eyes. She left me alone with the air stewardess. She was staying in Canada, and I was going on this plane by myself at 5 years of age with this air stewardess. Do you know, when you're a little kid from ages 0 to 7, your nervous system isn't even ready yet. And I was 5 years old, and I was so excited, and then I get there, and I'm like, what? Okay, and so I went and I got on the plane and I just started crying. I was like, what the hell just happened? Where are my parents? I didn't know that the reason why they sent me back to Portugal was because they were going through a hard time. They just immigrated. They didn't have a job. They didn't have money. It was just really, really hard that first year, unimaginably hard. So they sent me away. Obviously, my mother was crying too, but I didn't know that. I was 5 years old. All I thought was my mom doesn't love me. I can't trust my parents. I can't trust my family. No, I'm not worthy of love. What else was I thinking? I was no one loves me. No one wants me. I'm definitely not worthy of love. I started creating all these illusions, in my head. And when I was on that plane, after I cried, I realized this is it. I'm on my own. I got to be independent, right? I got to prove to the world that I'm powerful. I got to prove to the world that I'm successful, that I'm important, that I'm worthy of love. Literally, that's what I was trying to prove to everyone, to my dad, to my mom, At 5 years of age, I had made this decision. So it was really, really crazy, because what happened, the failure in that was the failure of me feeling that I was unworthy of love. And answer the question for me, am I unworthy of love if your mom ships you away on an airplane? Am I unworthy of love? Yes or no? No, right? not at all. But I thought that. And so for the rest, that started my life in proving to the world that I was good enough. And so that proving led to, what is success? So what is success for you guys? For me, success was, I've got to get every initial behind my name. It was like 9 years of school. You know, do as many courses as you can, become a doctor, become special, right? And so that was like down that road, and it was a really, really hard road. And in the beginning, the first thing that I did was I got an honors in psych and then did communications, and I got a job at a really special bank. I love this bank. It was so good. But it was like, got paid great money. I was in management, and I had like paid vacation, right? I had everything, but I was miserable. Like absolutely miserable. So everything that they said, okay, you know, go do it, prove to everyone that you could have everything. But I was so miserable. And inside my heart, I knew that I had to do something else. I wanted to give back. My passion was health and fitness, you know? It wasn't to be in an office working for someone else. So that was a huge, huge fail. The fail of needing to prove my worth, who I was, to everyone else. How many of you have felt that before? You can raise your hands. Yeah, right? You need to prove yourself because you think you're not worthy. And we know it's an illusion. We are all worthy of love, no matter what. Even if you're a killer, you're a serial killer. I know, hopefully there's none of you here in this room. But the truth is, you're still worthy of love. You're still worthy of love, right? But we go out of our way to prove this, right? Sorry, I just need to change the page to number 2. Okay, so that's number 1. That's my sad story, number 1. Yeah. Number 2, I went back to Canada, so it's okay. You know, my parents still love me, so it's all good. So number 2, I ended up meeting a really beautiful man. Oh my God, women, you know, like the hot, sexy man with a chiseled butt, nice chest. Oh, he was an Adonis. You know Adonis, like the Greek god? Anyways, he was so hot. It was crazy. And so I met him, and he was a chiropractor. So I was like, oh, I was like crazy passionate in love with him because of the fact that he was so, like, he was a healer. He had a studio. I remember walking into his studio one day, and I was like, you know how, like, the energy part of me was like, oh, running to him. And meanwhile, my body is like, okay, we're coming. You know, because I was running to him. And he had told me, he was a meditator. He did lots of meditation and chanting. And he's like, Andrea, I did this meditation, and I have a message for you. And I'm like, what's the message? He's like, you are going to be a powerful healer. You're going to speak to the masses. You have to go back to school. And I had just finished like 6 years of school, university, you know. And he's like, you have to go back. And I was like, I'm not going back. I hated school. Like, it was so hard, you know? And he's like, no, you have to go back. And then that was my fail number 2. My fail number 2 was I was infatuated with this gorgeous god, goddess, god, man, whatever. And anyways, I listened to what he said, which was to go back to naturopathic school. But I didn't know what naturopathic school was. Like, I had no idea. I didn't know it was a medical program, 4 years, full-time, 50 hours a week. I didn't know that I had to work on dead bodies. I worked on cadavers for a year. How many of you here have worked on a cadaver? No one? It's disgusting, okay? It's awful. It smells. Oh my God. You're picking up a vein. You think you're picking up a vein and you pick up a penis. Like, it is, honest to God. It's awful. I hated it. I had to do blood draws. Like, it wasn't me. But here I was, listened to this guy, and I like made this decision to get into this program. And of course, I'm not going to quit because I can't quit. So I stayed, and I had the worst 6 years of my life. It's a 4-year doctorate, 4-year, 50 hours of class. I took 2 years off, but I went back to finish it because I had to finish it. I wanted to finish it. It was the worst 6 years of my life, guys. I walked in, and women, you would know this, 125 pounds, nice little 4-size body, full of life, full of joy. I was teaching so much. I walked in, and then when I walked out of school, I started smoking. I had panic attacks regularly, went into clinical depression for a year, literally a year. I gained about 28 pounds. I was size 10, so from size 4 to size 10. And I didn't give a shit about health. Pardon my French. I didn't care. Smoke if you want to, eat shit if you want to. I don't care. I just can't even believe I survived that madness. It was insane. We had our final exams was 5 exams in a row, day and night, day and night. Like, no one could even breathe, you know? You'd walk into the library, people would be crying because everyone was just so overwhelmed, you know? So, big fail. I listened to this guy, got into this program, and I was like, hated every single minute of it. My graduation date, I was in bed, and my mom's like, it's your graduation. I'm like, I'm not going. She's like, no, but we took the day off for work. I'm like, I don't care, you go, I'm not going. You know, so that's how bad of a fail it was. So that was my second fail. All right, told you it was gonna be miserable fails, guys. If you want me to stop, I can stop early. Okay, fail number 3. Okay, I finally passed, I graduated that crazy course. My brain now is an investment of $242,000. Big investment, right? And then I had this entrepreneur feeling like I need to I started practice, started a clinic, and I also started a corporate wellness company with another friend of mine who she also wanted to get into teaching and workshops and stuff, so we started a company called Infusion Health. And the thing is, we had all this money and energy invested, but none of us had business skills. 0 business skills. 0 marketing, 0 sales. We had no idea about put people into the pipeline, so when you're finished with one client, you have another one. Nothing. It was a disaster. Oh my God. The only reason why the first 2 years of our company succeeded was because I was bartending part-time all through school, and I had such a huge network of people, C-suite level directors, that really gave me a chance. And so we went in and we pitched, and we'd get deal after deal. Every time we got on there, we would get the deal, because we were really heavily in presentation and heavy in research as well, both of us. So anyways, it was just amazing. We made money the first 2 years. The third year, it just didn't work. It wasn't sustainable. I didn't have a scalable business. And for any of you who have a business, if you have not read the book Lean Startup, read it. I read it 3 years after the business failed. So you want to read it before, because it's all about starting your business really, really bare bones, and then testing the business out, seeing whether or not, is this a viable business? If it is, then you invest more money in it. And then the second book that I would really suggest you read is something called E-Myth. And it goes through systemizing your business. And that's something I wish we had, because we were getting clients, we were booking people, but we were not selling again. So the whole year, for example, we got big companies like TD, RBC, Bird, BHP Billiton, Stantec. The list was huge. So we'd get a contract for a year, and we're like, so excited, we're gonna be there every month for a year. At the end of the year, we're like, so did you like us? And they're like, yeah, you guys did great, we had great results, people lost weight, their blood pressure dropped, everyone's meditating. And we're like, okay, so we're gonna come back next year? And they're like, no, sorry, we want something different. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I couldn't believe it. They never rehired us. Customer after customer, and it was like, how can you sustain a business like that? You can't. So by the third year, it was a disaster. Both, thank God, me and my business partner, my friend, we're still friends, but it was a really, really hard fail, really hard, lots of money spent, and we learned that you really need good management and good structure and good systems in your business, otherwise it's just not gonna work. So that was my third fail. So to wrap all of this up is understanding that failure, just like you said it was a blessing. Failure can be looked at it with many different perspectives, right? I tell people all the time, you can look at it from different lenses. But what I share with my patients is something that I think is important. Anytime you go through something, there's kind of 3 ways you can look at it. The first way is, this is happening to me. So as a little kid, I was like, oh, this is happening to me. They're sending me away. I'm a victim. Oh my God, this is happening to me. I failed all these courses at school, you know? So it's like I'm a victim of these things. But the truth is, there's another way to look at it, part 2, which is, this is happening for me. This is happening for me. So if it's happening for me, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, when I was that little girl, I got tough. And I was like, I'm gonna make friends with everybody because I'm on my own. I have no choice. So I had to grow. Just like you were saying, Lukas, about exponential growth. You put yourself in a hard situation, you're going to grow. You have no choice. In fact, that's the only time you grow, when you're uncomfortable. Otherwise, you won't at all. You'll just stay and everything goes flaccid. And anyway, that's just not a good scenario. And the third thing, and this is on a spiritual, energetic level, and this is for you, if you haven't gotten conscious yet, to wake up, to know that, feel your muscles right now, feel your skin, go ahead, touch yourself, muscles, bones, skin, right? You have that, but you also have an energy body inside of you. All of us have energy inside of us, and whether or not you're connected to God or source or whatever you want to call it, you're an energy being. And so there's the third one is like, it's not happening to you, it's not happening, if it's happening for you, the third one is happening through you. In other words, imagine like those artists, literally they have inspiration that comes through them and they start to create. Julie, if you know her, she created her authentic relating. It just came through her. She was full of excitement and expression and love. And it just blew up and people loved it. People loved it. And so that's the third thing. So when failure happens, ask yourself, is it happening through me? What can be happening through me so I can express, so I can help? Because I truly believe this is the only way that we can help heal the world, is when we start opening the possibility of energy flowing through us and us creating something bigger than you could ever imagine. Because on your own, you're just a human being. But connected to the energy source of the world, anything can happen. And I really do believe that together, all of us together, can help heal the world, because the world needs it. So that's it. Thank you. I guess I didn't need this.
Thank you. This lady, she was having dinner with me a few nights ago, and she was speaking in English with me for half an hour, and suddenly she starts speaking in Portuguese, and I was like, "What? Are you Portuguese?" Like.
English. I really do. I like accents. I'm like,
Algarvian accent.
yeah, why not?
All right, so does anyone have any questions to Dr. Dre? No? Really? She talked a lot, right?
Sorry, did I go over my time?
No, it's perfect. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you. And now our last speaker tonight is a mentor and coach, founder of a life coach school and talent developer. He is known in more than 15 French-speaking countries in the world as an inspirational speaker. Follow your dreams, they know the way, and then contribute. It's his favorite quote. Give a round of an applause to André. Roberti.
Hi. I feel so much pressure because you are great, Lukas. Really, give a hand to Lukas because very inspirational. And Andreia, I feel so much pressure because I have to speak now after a 200,000 brain. It's the first time that happens in my life. My God. Give a hand to Dr. André because, my God, you are so good. And a last giving hand to our host. I know your gift, your treasure is to connect people, and you do it so good. So can you give a hand to Joanna? Thank you. Joanna wrote me a message a few days ago, like, can you come and speak? I was like, and she said, about failures. I was like, yeah, it's like the story of my life. I can speak about failures, but I have challenges to face. It's my first time in English, so it's a big challenge for me. I'm a French guy, from Belgium. And second one is she said, you have to speak during 10 minutes. My God. I speak for hours, and what I have to say in 10 minutes, it's a challenge. And the failures, what can I choose for failures. I mean, I have so many. It's huge, really huge. I didn't know what to speak about. Is it about the fact that during 30 years in my life, I had a sickness of being shy. I couldn't speak to people. Never. I just wanted to hide myself. Do I have to speak about that? I don't know. Do I have to speak about the fact that at the age of 21, my parents just said, go out of the house? It was difficult. It was a big failure. Do I have to speak about bankrupts? Do I have to speak about divorce? Twice? My God. It's not good on my CV. Do I have to speak about the fact that for years I weighted 30 kilos more than now? Do I have to speak about the fact that one day I went to the doctor and the doctor said, you have a cancer? I don't know what to speak about. And maybe about one thing that happened in February 2019. You know, in life, when you fail, it's just that you want to speak to someone there and just say to him, can you just stop for a moment? I just want peace, you know? And I was in that situation, and I just asked for something, just relax. And at that moment, I met a woman, and I fell in love. And she became pregnant. And 2 months after, I lost her. And she lost the baby. And I was devastated. I can still feel it now in my heart. That at that moment, my heart was broken. And I can feel it's still broken. And, you know, I had many businesses, online programs. My life was great. And on that day, no money on my bank account came over. It's like something energetic. Everything stopped. I lost everything. And I had an employee, and I didn't know what to say to her, because she also had a family. I had to pay her. So I sold my car, and God, I love cars, really. I sold it just to pay her, maybe a couple of months more. And it was so painful. I don't know if you've ever lived something like losing someone or facing a disease or something very painful. I think here everybody has felt that pain that you can feel in your heart. And I didn't know what to do. I just wanted, I was living in Belgium in an apartment on the second floor. I just wanted to open the window and jump, just to stop it. But it was not a good idea, because the second floor, it's difficult to die, you know? So I didn't do it. But there was a voice inside of my head, just do it, to stop it. I knew I won't, but there was that little voice. And at that moment, I had a discussion with an amazing woman. It's like she saved my life. And I was talking about my story, about what was happening to me. And she said, look, you have to step up with your values. I was like, okay, I will do it. She said, what are your values? I said, like, it's love, it's family, it's respect, it's sharing. And then I went in my car, and I was like, are that values the real values I have? And I start working on that, learning, searching. How can we find our values? Because we think we have some values, but they are the values we have in our head. In the story we talk to ourselves. What are our real values? And I discovered that our real values are the values that we feed by the money we spend, the time we spend, and the energy we put in. And it was a different result. I discovered that my values were growing, make others growing, sharing, contribution. That are my values. And she told me, start with that. I was like, look, I don't know what to do, because what is happening to me, it's like I discover myself for the first time in that failure. And I'm like, oh, if one of my value is to make grow other people or contribute, what can I do with that? Maybe I can speak about what I'm living. And I said to my employee, I'm going to make a workshop. And the title of the workshop will be, Do You Really Know Yourself? And we put it on Facebook, and we directly had 5 people subscribing on that workshop. And I said, just stop it. Stop the promotion, because I'm so bad, I cannot speak because a large audience, you know? 5 people is like huge at that moment. And I went there. I was so sad. I had so much pain in my heart, but I went there and I shared my story, just a testimony. And people also shared. And I received messages from them like, oh, I feel I'm transformed. So I felt so happy, so I did it again. So first lesson is know your values. I mean the real ones, okay? If you don't know that, just ask to someone, to a coach, to a friend, what are your values, okay? Do that work. It's really important. And the story is amazing, because in February 2019, it's like yesterday. I was so lost. I had nothing. And today, that small workshop became a conference I give to sometimes 1,000 people. You know, there is a Buddhist quote saying the lotus has its roots in the dirt. Second one is, I'm from Belgium. I love my country. I don't love the government of Belgium because they're so crazy with this COVID, but I love my country, really. I love the people. And some of you love tennis? Tennis? No? Yeah, tennis? Yeah? We had an amazing player in Belgium called Justine Henin. And she was not big, and she was very thin. And she had to play against the sister Williams, so no chance. And she was like a middle player. And one day, her trainer, Carlos Rodriguez, changed everything in her training. Just before, they trained like everybody else. Like, they trained all the defaults. And he said, we're going to change it. We will train your best gift, your deepest talent. And your deepest talent is your revers. I don't know the word in English, but backhand. Okay, thank you. Since that moment, she became #1 in the world for almost 3 years. Just because she worked on her resource. She worked on her gift. She worked on her deepest talent. I'm working in and the personal development. I see so many people working on what's wrong in me. I want to work on that because that's wrong in me. I want to work that default. I want to work on that. And people begin to work, and then they read books, and then they go to conferences, and they go to workshops. And they say, oh my God, I worked on that, but I realize I have another problem to work on. It's like a never-ending story. My God, life is short, so short. So you have to know, that's the second key, your deepest talent, your gift. What's your gift? It's your superpower. It's something you're born with. You're right, Lukas, you said it. You have a treasure. You have a superpower. If you know your superpower, when life hits you, because life will hit you. Life hit me again 2 weeks ago, like from nowhere. I had to make silence in me and just, what are my highest values? What is my biggest gift? What are my resources? And I can go on, you know? And every obstacle you will have in life, every failure, if you know your resource, you just have to step back in life from your resource, okay? There is nothing wrong in you. There's just one gift, one superpower that you received. That's your mission in life, to find it and to give it to the world. As simple as that, okay? Third key, it's the same woman that gave me that gold questions about my values. She made a TEDx. You know the TEDx conferences? Yeah? So very known woman. And she said, you know, you have to understand the power of the heart. She said, you know, there is a frequency of the brain, energetic frequency, and you spoke about energy. There is an energy of the heart. Do you know how more powerful the heart is than the brain? I said, like what, 2 times, 3 times? She said, no, 5,000 times more. So, third key, stop filling your head. Start filling your heart. And to listen to your heart, just make silence. Make silence in yourself, make silence outside of you, just to listen to that little voice. And that little voice, that's just amazing what she can say. It's crazy. It's changed my life. And you will fail. And I just want to give this advice. If you fail, fail from not the back, from there. Because if you fail there, you can step up more quickly. Okay? And make the silence to listen to your heart. And just remember what are your values and remember what is your gift. Okay? Thank you for your listening.
Wow. Wow, André, what a story. I don't know if you guys want to ask André something.
Maybe you can explain a bit more what's the difference between a value and gift, and also how to find it.
Thank you for your question, Lukas. It's a really good one. It's difficult to know ourselves. I mean, I'm 40. It's 40 years I'm in with myself. It's difficult to know what are my values, what is my gift, because I'm with myself all day long. If I have something to read, a paper to read, if I put it here, I cannot read it. But if I put it there, I can read it. So ask to others. Just ask to others. What's your natural talent? Because when we are gifted, we do it like, for us, it's so easy to do. So for us, it's difficult to know, oh, I'm gifted with that. No, it's normal. It's so easy, you know? But if you ask to other people, like people from your family, friends, employees, partners, employers, look, I want to find myself better, and can you just give me some advice? What is my gift? What would you say? What are my values? You know me. You know what I do. What are my values? Oh, your values certainly it's that, and your gift certainly is that. Yeah? Do you think? Yeah. When you do that, you are in your magic zone. Really? It's so simple. Yeah, that's called a gift. Okay? So ask to others, maybe. Okay?
Thank you. Does anyone wants to ask something else to André? No? No? Well, André, thank you for sharing your story. It was I was actually at the same time as you facing a very hard time, so I got connected with your story. Okay. Where I think it was the worst time of my life, and I was seeing that there was no ending time. So, and then you think you don't have any positive to give to other people, right? And you're in that negative circle and losing everyone around you and stuff. And then, you know, guys, what I did? I went to Fatima. Do you know Fatima here in Portugal? Like this religious place. Because there was a day, even my computer didn't turn on, the television didn't turn on. I was like, Mom, we gotta go to Fatima. And I arrived in Fatima, and I said to her that it was a rainy day. And I looked up the sky and I told her, hey, listen, can you stop it? I need a break, come on. And then I decided on myself that when I was going out of Fatima, the sky would be clear, and that would be a sign that my life would go again better, right? And it happened. Oh, so, thank you. Thank you, André. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this moment. I hope this will be the first, not the last session of fail again, and fail bigger. I hope that if you guys still here next month, if you want to share your stories with next people who are coming here, just let me know. And let's start our Christmas dinner. Okay.